You know, I was this close. I want you to know this. I was this close to being on time. So here was my plan. I was gonna make chapter 199 in like, I don't know, 2 days, okay? I'd be quick, it'd be done, it'd be easy, okay? And I would basically prepare myself for chapter 200 to be like, okay, I'm gonna record it in a day, I'm gonna edit it in a day, and it's gonna come out maybe 2 or 3 days right after that gets uploaded, right? And then, I had this big ass plan and everything, and it just went to fucking shit. Let me tell you, it was like this, and then it just went. Yeah, so that's where I've been now for 15 days. Just kidding. I just got to go work for a while. Anyways, welcome back to Tonikaku Kawaii chapter 199, brought to you by Bathhouse Scans. You already know the shtick. One more chapter until chapter 200. Okay. I need to finish 199 now, so I know for a fact that I could start chapter 200 before I have to go to work again. So yeah, let's just jump right into it. Our chapter starts off with Skasa-chan, what I presumably think is reliving her memories, okay? Now, while she's reliving her memories, she realizes something. Oh, my dreams always end up in tragedy. My life has always been shit, okay? She thought of this as a more recent thing and not like it's been there since, she's been born, right? Because, she thought that, oh, like the longer I'm immortal, the more shit my life has become because of the fact that I'm immortal. No, turns out that her life has always been shit, right? So we cut to Skasa-chan with one of her patients, right? Because she's apparently like a doctor, or more accurately an apothecary, but I'm just going to call her a doctor because that's basically what she was, okay? Basically, she's talking to one of her patients, right? And apparently, she's coughing up blood, right? So, the only thing Skasa-chan can basically tell her is, yeah, sorry, I can't do anything at that point. You're dead. I tried to do what I could. I'm sorry, but yeah, you're just dead, right? The old lady tells her it's fine and whatever, but it's good enough. Thank you, whatever, right? So Skasa-chan, she leaves disappointed, right? And then she realizes that, oh, most of my family has died of disease, right? So everyone except her dad has died of disease, okay? So that's the reason why she became a doctor in the first place, right? To basically try to save a couple lives so, they don't end up dead, right? But she starts to realize, though, that, she says some pretty doomer shit, to be honest. She's like, yeah, human life is very fleeting. It's gonna end eventually. There's no point saving it. Whatever, right? But, she's like, maybe I could save one or two lives. Maybe change their lives, right? When suddenly, Skasa-chan apparently just stops and finds that the Emperor, who may or may not be NASA, he's just crying in front of a river. Skasa-chan actually wants to be a nice person, right? So, she proceeds to ask this man, right? Oh, what is this finely dressed man doing, crying in a river, in a mountain, okay? She never sees this, like, ever, okay? So she's like, this must be pretty rare, right? So, she wants to help the dude out, right? Not knowing that it's actually the Emperor, okay? But that doesn't matter, okay? The Emperor is too much of a pussy to admit that he got rejected by a girl, right? So, he notices Skasa-chan, he stops crying, right? And he's like, I wasn't crying at all. I have no idea what you mean. I definitely wasn't crying, right? Skasa-chan, she's like, yeah, you were absolutely 100% not crying. I'm just gonna believe that. Yeah, okay, sure, right? So Skasa-chan, coolly, she's like, okay, then I guess your situation isn't actually that important then, huh? Now, apparently that strikes a chord with the Emperor, right? I mean, it kind of came onto you, okay? You were out here telling her that you weren't crying at all and it wasn't important, but whatever, okay? He's like, hey, I will have you know that this situation that is going on is very important, okay? It is completely 100% of the utmost importance for me to figure out, okay? I will have you know. Now, Skasa-chan, still wanting to be a nice person, okay? She's like, okay, then, I see that your issue is pretty big. Alrighty then. So what's the problem? What's the issue? What's going on, right? Now, the Emperor decides to, actually tell her for once, right? She's like, yeah, I got rejected by a girl that I really, really like. Now, Skasa-chan, she decides to hold nothing back, okay? She comes in with the biggest comeback of the century, okay? She's like, oh, yeah, you were right. This shit is so unimportant. What the fuck? Now, to say that the Emperor is a little pissed is it's kind of undermining it, okay? Dude is absolutely just enraged, okay? He's out here telling her to shut the fuck up. We're talking about true love here, okay? This is the most important thing ever in the entirety of the world. Now, Tsukasa-chan realizes that she did the biggest no-no in the entirety of the world, okay? She realized that she fucked up, like, really bad, okay? So, she decides to calm down a bit. She decides to go back on the defensive and apologize. She's like, okay, listen, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say that it was unimportant or anything. I was just saying what I thought was true, okay? I apologize, right? As compensation, right? She's like, all right, listen. I see that you have a problem with a girl, okay? So I, as a girl, am willing to help you out, basically figure out how to get her to love you, okay? Now, I have no idea what true love is. I give two shits about it, okay? However, I am still willing to help you out, okay? If you need anything to help out with girls, alright? So the Emperor, he decides to take her up on the deal, right? She's like, fine. He is like, fine, sure, you help me out, try to get this girl of my life. The Emperor then proceeds to ask Tsukasa-chan a question, right? He's like, okay, let's say hypothetically, of course, okay, that there's someone that I really like. Let's say I like someone a lot, okay, but they don't like me at all. They think I'm a weirdo, okay. They think I'm whack, okay, and they're not interested in me in any way, shape, or form, right? Is there any way, just any way for them to get interested in me and to start liking me, right? So Tsukasa-chan, she thinks about it for a moment. She's like, and she comes up with the answer that, I mean, it's possible. Is it gonna be really hard? Yes. Oh, absolutely. It's gonna be basically impossible, but it still is possible, okay? Now, the Emperor, he doesn't say anything, right? Because, he wants Tsukasa-chan to basically explain the whole shebang, right? She keeps going. She's like, okay, first off, you need to understand something about women, okay? About girls, all right? And I should point out, I have no say in this. I am completely neutral, okay? I'm just putting what Hada put, okay? So, if this is what Hada put, this is what he believes, or maybe he just asked his wife. Again, I should point out that I didn't say this, okay? So Tsukasa-chan basically just tells the Emperor, listen, girls, and just women in general, they're always looking at the newest trend, okay? They see that new trend and they latch onto it like it is their dear life. Now, to say that the Emperor is a little bit more than confused is an understatement, okay? Dude is absolutely clueless on what to do, right? He doesn't even understand what Tsukasa-chan just said. He's like, could you repeat that again? I didn't really, fully understand, right? So, Tsukasa-chan gives him the TLDR. Basically, girls are into the new hottest thing. They're into the new trend. They're gonna be into, like, the newest trend, okay? And you always gotta be on top. You always gotta be there to, give them the newest trend, okay? And, basically, that is how you win, right? Yeah, now, the Emperor, he kind of still doesn't really understand a lot about it, but, like, he's like, let's just keep this ball rolling. Let's just see where this goes, right? Tsukasa-chan keeps talking a little bit more, right? And, in his mind, he realizes, oh, wait, she might actually be saying the truth, right? Because, he remembers that, oh, wait, Kaguya did send out those 5 noblemen to, basically try to find a basically impossible treasure, right? Now, we know that it's just because she didn't want to deal with them. But, in this context, you know what? If it works, it works, okay? So, he's like, oh, okay, so maybe what she is saying is, actually correct, right? Now, Tsukasa-chan, she continues, right? She's like, but hold on a minute. You can't just give her, the hottest new toy, the hottest new clothes, whatever. You gotta, you gotta put your heart into it, You kind of have to give your heart away to her to show that, you really, really love her, okay? Very deep shit, okay? You'll love to see it. Now, the Emperor is, starting to slightly understand it a little more, right? But he still doesn't understand the whole, I gotta give my heart away to prove my love. He doesn't really know how to do that, right? Because, you can't just cut up yourself and, be like, here you go, here's my heart, right? That's weird, first off, and second of all, you'd be dead. So, he's like, so how do you do that, okay? Tsukasa-chan, she's like, now that, ladies and gentlemen, is right where the latest technology goes in, right? She basically goes into TV advert mode that you always see on, like, cable television, okay? They're promoting like a spatula or this like fry cook or just basically anything. I think one of them, it's like, I'm trying to think of an example, okay? What's that? Flex Seal, okay? Those TV adverts, okay? Those good old, well, not good old, but like the adverts, okay? She basically goes like that, right? She starts promoting this mysterious, silky white, thin piece of God knows what it is, right? Apparently, it's been really popular on the mainland, okay? Which, most often than not, it probably means China and Korea, okay? So that's what I think when they mean the mainland, right? And it's apparently just hitting their country, okay? Which is probably one of the many hundreds, warlord states, or just the many hundred states that were there before, Japan decided to really unify and started to, become an actual country, right? She's like, and it just arrived, and it's called paper. Obviously, nowadays, we think of paper as, oh, it's that one piece of paper that we just have everywhere, right? Hell, I have some right here. It's right here. Don't worry about it. It was just right there. Like, a paper is basically everywhere, okay? We think of it as just like, oh, normal shit, right? But to them, this shit was like the hottest thing. We cut to Kaguya, who's just, relaxing. She's chilling on her little porch, right? When suddenly, her guardian, or her dad, or her grandpa, it doesn't matter, okay? Basically, her guardian comes along and is like, oh, Kaguya, I have a gift for you. Well, not really. We were sent a gift from the Emperor, right? For you. Now, Kaguya doesn't really remember too much about the Emperor. In fact, she doesn't really remember anything, right? They kind of have to remind her that, oh, it was that guy that I sent away crying like a pussy. I remember now. Now, while this is going on, Skuzza-chan is, talking, right? She's talking about how she thinks Kaguya is going to react to, the letter, right? And, turns out it's apparently 100% true, okay? Basically, Skuzza-chan talks about how Kaguya would be absolutely enamored by this piece of paper with a new black substance written on it called, ink. Again, also popular on the mainland and has just recently hit the country, alright? And basically, she's talking about how, absolutely in love and just, very focused Kaguya is on this letter, right? Because she's never seen this before. In fact, no one's actually ever seen this before, right? Because they all think of it as wood, right? Kaguya is absolutely in love with this silky softness of the paper, the thinness of it, this black liquid that's on it, absolutely, in love with it. Skuzza-chan continues on with a little explanation, right? She's like, with this mysterious black liquid, otherwise known as ink, basically, you're going to be writing your true feelings, how you really feel about Skuzza-chan, right? Now, the Emperor is very confused, right? He's like, okay, first off, great idea. Second of all, how do I write my true love feelings, right? Because, he doesn't understand, this whole concept of, writing down what you feel about this specific person, sending him, what we know as the love letter, okay? So, Skuzza-chan, she continues, right? She's like, okay, hear me out. When you try to speak it out, the words die. Very doomer shit, right? The words die like that immediately, okay? These words are never going to be remembered again, okay? Like, yeah, sure, the person says that they remember them. Maybe they do, but eventually they're going to be gone, and no one's going to know what you actually said, okay? Very true, right? And, she's like, but with a letter, it's different, okay? Because you're just writing it down. And because it's written down, it stays there forever. Like, you can't change it, right? And, she says that basically Kaguya is going to be rereading this over and over and over again, right? Because, unlike words where, she can just forget about them, this isn't really something that you can just forget, right? First off, it's on this mysterious new piece of thing that we call paper, right? Number 2, it's written in ink, right? Number 3, it has love on it, right? And, basically she's going to be just enamored by it, right? And it's just going to be there forever, right? Until, decomposition comes in and, basically destroys the paper. But, we don't talk about that part. And Scassa-chan concludes her presentation, her mini presentation with a final, promise, right? Basically saying that with all of these strategies combined, Kaguya is going to become more and more interested in you to the point where she really, really loves you, okay? Now, she concludes her little, mini presentation, right? The Emperor, he thinks that this is the most amazing, absolutely, fantastic idea to have ever been invented, right? He's like, Scassa-chan, I am proud of you, okay? You just made something revolutionary. You should be proud of yourself, right? Now, obviously, Scassa-chan, she's like, obviously I made something new. I am very proud of myself, okay? And now, Scassa-chan, she continues more with a little ego-tripping, right? She's like, this is how you reaffirm your ideals, right? You combine the old things, the tried and true tactics, right? And you combined it with something new, something revolutionary, right? And you make something new, okay? And, she decides that this new concept that she has just made is going to be called the love letter. So, ladies and gentlemen, you can finally say that Scassa-chan, yes, an anime character, invented the love letter. Anyways, and there's a little bit of haha funnies, right? And a little bit of foreshadowing, right? The Emperor, he's like, oh, that's good. That's a great name, fantastic name. I am sure that this concept is going to catch on and become very popular, right? Even Scassa-chan, she's like, oh yeah, no, I am absolutely 100% sure that this is gonna catch on, be the next best thing, and everyone's going to be using it. It's funny because it's true, until the internet came along, and now it's just sending text messages over Instagram. Anyways, and that is the end of the chapter. Now, why did it take me more than, what is it now, 16, 17 days to record this? I don't know. It just took me a whole day to record this. I don't know why it took me an extra 16, but actually, it's because I had to go to work, like I said in the beginning. But, yeah, apart from that, great chapter. I loved it. Chapter 201 just came out, which, yay, woo! But, whatever, okay? That one's actually good as well. But I have to get a 200 and 201, and hopefully 202 does not come out, because I hate being, minimum 2 chapters behind. So, apart from that, I hope that you enjoyed this video. I had fun making it. Well, except for the fact that this room is fucking hot. But anyways, we should stop complaining. Like I said, I have nothing interesting to say. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and goodbye.